So we're on our third installment of the top newcomers for spring practice, and we're going to do the third quarter. So we've already finished 12 practices. They just had a scrimmage, and we have 5 new names to add. Actually, a couple repeats, but guys that are brand new to the squad this year that have are stepped up so far this spring and look to make an impact in the fall. First of all, we'll start with senior running back Cam Carroll. Haven't mentioned him yet, but Cam had a really good scrimmage on Thursday, and is a big back that can run between the tackles, but also has showed quite a bit of agility, evidently in the spring in the scrimmage. Of course, we're not allowed to see it, but just from what we heard, there was one run in particular where he went for about 30 yards, and at the end he hurdled a defender. So Cam Carroll, a guy that was pretty much a surprise to get in the transfer portal from Tulane, and a guy that with the stable of backs that Florida has, the 2 guys returning from last year, a good surprise, a really nice pickup for Florida at running back, and he's showing off right now in spring practice. The next one is an offensive lineman that I don't think was expected necessarily to do a whole bunch, but we have seen him step into a bit of a role in the first unit on offense, and that's Najee Harris, who came to Florida from IMG Academy. Harris has showed up and really impressed. He's really taken charge of learning the playbook, and is a guy that's inserted himself into maybe first team action, certainly in the spring, and a guy that looks destined to get on the field in the fall. So maybe that's a little bit of a surprise and a little bit unexpected there. So a really good find for a position of need at Florida. The next one, I certainly have mentioned him a lot on our message board at the Gator Collective, but I don't think he's been on these lists yet. But for this third quarter of spring practice in 2023, I'm going to go with defensive tackle Caleb Banks, the transfer from Louisville. He's a redshirt freshman, played, I don't know, I think he had 4 tackles or something last year for Louisville. It didn't get on the field very much at all, and is a guy that showed up. He's very heavy-handed. He's doing great. He's had a really, really good week of practice this week. Was probably the best of the defenders in the defensive tackle for the scrimmage on Thursday, and a guy that certainly they brought in to step in and play, and it looks like he's ready to do that. The next one is actually a sophomore and a returnee, but a guy that saw most of his action when he did see it on special teams, but has had a couple of days this spring where he's really showed up. And in the scrimmage on Thursday, Jack Pyburn, the sophomore outside linebacker from Jacksonville, he's a guy that, weren't expecting much from him last year, and he didn't play on defense, but he did see the special team stuff that we talked about. He had a really good practice, like second or third day of practice this spring, but in the scrimmage, he had a really good scrimmage, and he actually had 5 plays in a row where he made the play and made the tackle, and got cheers from his defensive teammates. So Jack Pyburn's a name I think we're going to see a little bit of this spring. He's lost a little bit of weight. He's a little bit quicker than he was a year ago, and I think that's going to pay off for him. The last one we have mentioned is before, and it's true freshman safety Jordan Castell. He has been playing with the ones lately with the injury to Miguel Mitchell, who is actually back now, but he saw time with the ones again in the scrimmage, and has showed up. I think the big surprise for me with Castell is that he's really shown the ability in coverage and to play in coverage as a safety. So, again, Castell is a guy that will play this year, and certainly somebody that they were kind of needing to do so. But he stepped up this spring and looks to have a pretty good fall.